Hey, it's Miczal. I'm alive, and so is the project. Welcome to this lore breakdown of Tale of Witchheart. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. This video is going to be a longer one, but it won't be as heavily edited. We'll be showing some older concept art, rough sketches, and early ideas. So, please keep in mind that nothing you see here is final. The purpose of this video is simply to give you a clear picture of the lore, the mythic history of the world, and the ideas that shape the setting. There will be no story spoilers for the game, only the ancient past, the war's origin, and the background you'll naturally uncover as you play. We'll explore the creation of the world, the primordial beings, the great old war, the rise of demons, the factions, and the events that led to the current age of chaos. So, with all that said, let's begin. Long before civilization, kingdom, or even the nature itself, there was only one being, a single, absolute source of existence, known only as the All-Maker. For reasons far beyond mortal understanding, the All-Maker did not remain whole. It divided, or perhaps tore itself apart. And from that rupture arose two opposing entities, the white being and the black being. Both were perfect in their own way, equal and opposite, unable to coexist. Their very nature drove them into eternal conflict. Their clash was not a simple battle. Every strike, every wound, every impact between them had consequences on a cosmic scale. From their blows, matter was born. From their wounds, blood was spilled. From their struggle, the world began to take shape. Chapter 0. The Birth of the World. As the white and black being fought, their weapons and bodies shattered the void. First, the earth formed, a raw, rock land, still empty and silent. Then, two suns emerged from their powers, twin lights in the sky, one pale and one dark, mirroring their creators. Where their blood fell, it did not vanish. Pool, vast crimson ocean spread a newborn world. Seas of divine blood, thick and still, glowing faintly under the gaze of tall suns. From this blood ocean, life began to rise. The first being to crawl out from the crimson seas were demons, born directly from the mindless blood of their creator. Demons emerged as powerful, instinctive beings, neither virtuous nor weak by nature. They were simply one of the earliest forms of life, shaped by radiant energy and driven by the primal forces from which they came. But the oceans did not stop there. After the demons came humans. They too rose from the crimson seas, shaped from the same divine blood, it taking form in their own way. Not stronger or weakened than the demons, simply different. Beings of instinct and reason intertwined, capable of adapting to the newly formed world around them. In the oldest myths of the world, humans and demons are siblings of the same blood, born from the same divine sea. Their hatred for each other is old, but their origin is shared. At the same time as the land cooled and shapes formed, another kind of being appeared, the yokai. Unlike demons and humans, yokai were not born from the oceans of blood, but with the world itself. They emerged whatever nature took form. A river spirit, when the first stream started to flow, a mountain spirit, where the earth rose into peaks, a fog spirit in the deep forests. Countless others, each tied to a place, a phenomenon, or a natural force. Yokai are the world-given will. They are neither inherently good or evil. As time passed, and all possible life had been born, demons, humans, beasts, plants, mushrooms, and yokai, the purpose of the divine blood was fulfilled. The crimson oceans thinned and faded. The sacred blood lost its power and slowly transformed into ordinary water. Those same seas become the world's natural oceans and lakes. Most people forgot what they truly once were. Chapter 1. The Two Suns and the Gate. Among the greatest relics of this mythic age are the two suns. The white sun, shining down on the world we know, and the black sun, associated with the demons and the black being. Once humans, in the age far beyond living memory, built the divine gates, a colossal structure that links the mortal realm to the domain of the creators. Using long-forgotten magic, the ancients bound the black sun inside the gate, removing it from the skies entirely. From that moment on, only the white sun remained above the world. rising and setting in a natural cycle, creating day and night the same way any ordinary sun would. The black sun still exists, but no longer as a celestial body. Its presence lingers only within the sealed depths of the gates. No one alive truly understands how this was done. The exact rituals and knowledge are lost to time. What remains are the gates itself, and the world forever shaped by a war between two beings that no one has ever seen. Chapter 2. The Great Old War. As time passed and civilization formed, tension rose between humans and demons. Old stories disagree on who struck first. Some blame humans, some blame demons, and some say the war was simply because the two young civilizations could not share the same world. Whatever the truth, it escalated into a devastating conflict remembered only as the Great Old War. It was during the ancient struggle that humanity produced two legendary figures, names so old they have become myth. Haran, the Demon Slayer, the blade of humanity, the spear against demons, the first king. Haran was a warrior of unmatched skill. With his spear he fought like a tempest made flesh. His blade never doomed. No demon could harm him, and he rallied fragmented human clans in unified force. Many tales depict him pushing back entire demonic legions alone. Historians believe the truth was more grounded, but even so, Haran was undeniably the military hero who led humanity's armies to victory. It was under Haran's command that the final demonic fortress fell. Shagdor, the Illuminant, the Radiant Prophet, the founder of Church. While Haran was a sword of humanity, Shagdor was its mind. A mystic, scholar and seer, he possessed an extraordinary gift, the ability to glimpse into the future. Though his visions were imperfect, they allowed humans to anticipate ambushes, prepare defenses, and strike where the demons were weakest. Shagdor's prophecies became the foundation of human strategy. His writings shaped early theology and laid the groundwork for what would later become the Church of the Gates. After the war, he became its first archpriest, guiding the spiritual future of humanity. Chapter 3. The Aftermath. A new world forged by victory. With Haran and Shagdor at the forefront, humanity won the Old War decisively. Demons were driven into exile. Humans expanded rapidly across the land. The great city of Holden was founded near the Divine Gates. Shagdor's teachings spread, formalizing the Church. Haran became the first king, symbol of unity and strength. The roles of the two figures became the foundation of human identity. Haran, the heroic archetype of strength, courage and protection. Shagdor, the wise archetype of foresight, order and divine insight. They were not merely leaders, they were living myths, creators of the new human civilization. Their legacy shaped centuries of prosperity until the Divine Gates opened once more and chaos returned to the world. Chapter 4. The Golden Age of Humanity. With the Old War finally over, humanity entered what later historians would call the Golden Era. This period lasted centuries, long enough for entire civilization to be born, flourished, and forget what war once meant. The humans built their great capital city Holden, near the Divine Gates. It became the center of culture, technology, and magic. Wide stone streets, towering pagoda-like halls, markets filled with artisans and smiths, the shrines dedicated to yokai who aided humanity in ages past. Holden was the pride of the world. Under Shagdor's teaching, the church expanded into the most influential in the era. But at this time it was not yet fanatical or divided. Rather, it taught reverence for the creators, protected sacred knowledge, and helped maintain stability and peace. It venerated the Divine Gates itself, treating it as humanity's last link to the Creator, even though its true origin had long been forgotten and its purpose remained sealed. After the death of Haran, a long line of kings and queens ruled Holden. In those centuries, royalty became less about warfare and more about administration, scholarship, spiritual guidance. The throne became the symbol of unity. Yokai in the Golden Era had good relations with humanity. Some lived far from cities, avoiding human politics. Others became advisors, guardians, or wandering sages. Their presence was respected, even revered, as they represented ancient balance, natural order. Chapter 5. The First Catastrophe. One day, after 750 years of peace, the divine gates opened again. At this time, what emerged was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Chaos. Not a god, nor demon, nor human or yokai, something else. A force of pure unpredictability, a living manifestation of its name. Its appearance marked the beginning of the First Catastrophe. Chaos left behind two gifts that reshaped the world. The heart, humanity's power, a physical organ of infinite magical potential. It could only be carried by a single woman at a time. Whoever bore it became a witch, humanity's ultimate protector. Second gift, the new demons. Strong, unrelenting monsters poured from the gate. These weren't like demons of old. Each one was twisted, unique, and terrifyingly powerful, like handcrafted engines of destruction. Humanity's armies were nearly useless against them. Swords shattered, fortresses crumbled, entire battalions were wiped out in a moment. Humanity was pushed to the brink of extinction. Chapter 6. The First Witch, Saint Azhura. But just when the world seemed doomed, a woman appeared from the northern forests. A mage named Azhura. She carried the newly formed heart. Her arrival was a turning point. Thus the force capable of stopping those creatures was the witch herself, the sole being able to channel the limitless power of the heart. With the heart, Azhura possessed the power equal to entire armies. She alone confronted the new demons pouring from the gate, decimating their flesh, shattering their bones, piercing their vitals with overwhelming force, and standing unbroken for years on end. Creatures that entire armies could not slow down fell before her in moments. Her battles became the foundation of myths. Azhura's sacrifice and victories allowed humanity to survive the First Catastrophe. She became known as Saint Azhura, the first witch, the savior of the world. But the heart was not her forever. When she died, the heart vanished, to reappear in another woman somewhere across the land. And so began the line of witches. Chapter 7. The Line of Witches. Throughout the following centuries, the heart passed from one bearer to the next. Each witch inherited the burden of fighting the new demons and protecting the gates. Their names are remembered like sacred litany: Azhura, Grace, Sophia, Luna, Hecate, and finally, the unnamed witch of the modern age. The heart chooses randomly: a warrior, a healer, a monk, a hunter, even a child. No one can predict where it will appear next. Each witch fought for years, often dying in battle. Each one bought humanity a little more time. The world rebuilt itself slowly. Holden stabilized. The gate quieted. But the cycle of chaos was far from over. Chapter 8. The Seal and the False Hope. As human knowledge expanded, scholars and engineers saw the end of demon threat forever. So began the greatest project of human history, the Seal, a massive machine built near the Divine Gates, meant to suppress or neutralize the energy within. It took 35 years to complete, but it required one final thing: a limitless power source. The heart and the witch of the age, Hecate, offered hers willingly. Hecate was unlike any witch before her. Chosen at the age of 20, she possessed the exceptional talent and discipline, wielding twin spears, one of which was said to hold a fragment of Harran's legendary weapon. For 8 years, she fought tirelessly at the gates, carving through new demons with unmatched precision and efficiency. But duty came with a price. Hecate's life has become a cycle of slaughter, a constant, grinding responsibility that allowed no rest, no future, no fulfillment beyond endless battle. Her marriage to King Etherald was a political agreement more than union of hearts, and even that offered her little comfort. So when the Seal, a colossal machine designed to suppress the gate, was finally completed, after decades of labor, Hecate saw a chance to break the cycle for good. She believed that if offering the heart will give the world peace, if it could free all future generations from the burden she had carried, then it was a sacrifice worth making. And so, with full awareness of the consequences, she laid down her life, and allowed her heart to be used as the seal's core. The gate fell silent. No new demon emerged. People rebuilt their homes, farmers returned to their fields, and people whispered that Hecate's sacrifice has finally ended the age of catastrophe. For the first time in centuries, peace seemed possible. But peace built on fragile hopes never lasts. Chapter 9. The Second Catastrophe. The same year, Seal was activated. On one night, without warning, the machine overloaded with a single catastrophic surge of power. The divine gates exploded open. The shockwave obliterated buildings near the gates. The sky itself twisted. Stone shattered like a glass, and from the gate poured a tidal wave of new demons, more numerous and more violent than even before. The first catastrophe has been a disaster. The second catastrophe was annihilation. The eternal capital, once jewel of humanity, collapsed of days. Its walls crumbled, its shrines burned. Districts once filled with culture, trade and learning become hunting grounds for demons. Survivors fled into forests and mountains, abandoning their homes, their libraries, their history. Those who did not flee in time were slaughtered. To this day, the ruins of Holden remains as a reminder of how quickly a golden age can be erased. The Church of the Gates suffered a crisis unlike any before. Their sacred symbol, the gates, had betrayed them, and they did not enter the second catastrophe in unity. Even before the disaster, a great reformation shook its foundations. Power shifted violently within the institution, culminating in a sudden and dramatic overthrow of the reigning archpriest. The man whose size and control held immense influence for a brief moment, but vanished shortly after without explanation. His disappearance created a vacuum one of the church was utterly unprepared to fill. The once stable hierarchy collapsed into confusion. Within months, it splintered into 3 hostile factions, each convicted it alone held the truth after the survival. There were those who sought communion with the creators throughout the gates, and those who believed only the witch could save humanity, and those who wished to control the heart itself. To this day, the remnants of the church fight among themselves, each claiming to be the rightful heir of Shagdor's ancient teachings. Chapter 10. Demons reclaim the land. With no witch to defend them, and no heart powering the seal, humanity had nothing left to stop the onslaught. Streets become blood-soaked battlefields, villagers vanished overnight, the few remaining strongholds were isolated, terrified, cut off from each other. The new demons did not conquer the world with strategy. They didn't need to. They simply existed, and the world crumbled around them. All demons, the original tribes of the world, started again as well. Some saw opportunity, others fought for scraps. Chaos rippled throughout every corner of the land. In the years that followed, humanity shrank to pathetic resistance groups hidden in enclaves. Yokai withdrew into the deeper wilderness. Some watched from afar, protecting their forests and rivers. Others cooperate with humans. A few grow hostile, disturbed by the vast imbalance by the open gates. And demons filled the ruins of civilization like a spreading plague. The world that once thrived under Haran and Shagdor, the world protected for centuries by the witches, was gone. And the faint hope that somewhere in the world, the herd will choose a new bearer. Chapter 11. New Witch Awakens. Somewhere far from the mainland, on a remote island untouched by pollutions of prophecy, it was there that the herd reappeared, in a child, a girl who would grow up not knowing her destiny, unaware of the power sleeping within her, unaware that she carried the last hope of the world. But the world had not forgotten the heart. Something, someone, was watching. A presence born from the depths of the divine gates. An entity twisted by its power and shaped by its darkness. The patriarch of the void. It came for her. The creature seized her without hesitation and carried her across the sea toward the mainland, toward the ruined world she had never seen, toward the gates, toward the catastrophe she was born to face. She arrived not as a savior, but as a prisoner, dropped into the heart of the nightmare she did not yet understand. And this is where her story begins. When the game begins, the second catastrophe had shattered civilization. Factions battle for control, demons roam unchecked, yokai watch from the edges of the world. The gate remains wide open. Into this collapsing world, the witch awakens. In a world that has decided she is the final hope, her choices will decide whenever the cycle of destruction ends, or whenever the world finally falls into eternal ruin. And that's the story of the world of Tale of Witch Heart. at least the part that lies in the past. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown and that it helped you understand the foundation of the setting, because there is still much more to discover. I definitely didn't cover everything, and I can't wait to show you more once the game is further along. If you have any questions, theories, or things you want to hear about, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll gladly try to answer what I can. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me again when we dive deeper into the world of Witchheart. See you next time.